And now to education matters. The federal government has unveiled a comprehensive policy framework aimed at reducing the cost of education for parents, improving learning outcomes, and promoting sustainability in schools through the adoption of reusable, high-quality textbooks and strengthened quality assurance mechanisms. The policy, jointly issued by the Minister of Education, Tunde Alausa, and the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Said, forms a part of ongoing reforms to reposition Nigeria's education sector and ease the financial burden on families. The minister has explained that the policy prioritizes the use of standardized, durable textbooks designed to last between 4 and 6 years, while expressly prohibiting the bundling of disposable workbooks with textbooks in schools, adding that the approach is intended to ensure that learning materials can be reused across multiple academic sessions. According to them, the initiative allows siblings to share textbooks, significantly lowers recurring education costs for parents, and reduces waste within the school system, thereby supporting environmental sustainability. And joining me now for more on this is the CEO, Leeds Network, Chukwuma Kenwa. He joins me virtually. Good to have you join us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So I was going through that particular story, but I kept smiling because I remember, and I'm sure perhaps your time, which is I'm sure was way ahead of mine, you might have done the same thing where you would repeat, and I remember those readers very well, the primary 4, primary 5 reader. Most times they are handed down, you know, even from our siblings down to us, and we could use them over and over again, and you could even pass them to other people who are not members of your family, and it looks like that's what the federal government is bringing back. Just to get your thoughts on that.
I think it's commendable, and this clearly shows that the government have listened to the wish, the cries of parents, because the motive behind the fact that siblings could not use the same books used by their elderly ones is just profit-oriented. A situation where, like, publishers have to at the same time bundle the workbook inside the textbook. So by implication, once a child have the textbook and is able to also write inside, then your next sibling is expected to buy a whole new set of book. And in most cases, because also it's designed to be short-lived, you talk about the issue of sustainability, but of course the minister have assured of high-quality material, and then it should also be written in such a way that with high quality, it should be able to like serve like up to 4 to 6 years, both in terms of meeting curriculum needs and also in terms of sustainability. Talk about impact on the environment. Very wonderful when you have less wastages. When you have materials like that that can be reused, then that's what I call a proper policy framework.
And in terms of textbooks, because I don't know how that policy came when textbooks and workbooks, you know, were merged as one. Because again, if you have to submit your textbooks in school, what then are you using at home? But I wanted to revisit just the idea of some of the textbooks that we use. I still remember Babio for chemistry or KK for physics, and they were really, really good. But it looks like what is being used now is quite different, maybe because the curriculum is different. Is it time to sort of revisit some of those older textbooks and bring them back because they were really standard?
In all honesty, I think it's time, because sometimes when you look at some textbooks that is available, pretty much I also have experience working in school sector, you discover like some standard textbooks we used in those days, like general mathematics, intensive English, still like meets up to standard, much more than some of the works that you see that is shabby. Even sometimes you get to like stumble through, you know, some things that are either grammatically wrong, or if it's mathematics, arithmetically wrong, and it really tells you that the quality is poor quality. When you look at the people, the profile of those that wrote it, it's not like those days where like scholarly work, it's a teamwork, and then you have like sometimes like professors and the team of some renowned doctors who's been able to contribute sustainably to the body of knowledge in that field, coming together to like either do a physics textbook or a mathematics textbook. Now you have the intent of like maybe even someone investing as a publisher and then looking for like young writers, and at the end of the day churn out things, get the markets, and they want to sell, come up with strategies Education should be non-profit because it's all about, building human capital for the nation. But when the same principles guiding like typical buying and selling is allowed to guide the academic sector, it's really like a wrong indication of a wrong direction that has dire consequences.
And one of the things that maybe perhaps also worries me, because I keep going back to our time, because I feel like education was really good at that time. And one of the things that worry me is that, look, we read international books, the Shakespeare and all, but we also did more of local books. We did things in local context, and those stories were our stories. And now it looks like some things are westernized beyond just, saying parents should, let's now have books that siblings can reuse. How about revisiting our curriculum, first of all, in a way that it meets local content and local needs, but also position students, for global reach as well?
Well, that has been the case, of course, at the national level for these examinations like WAEC and NECO. You always have African literature, non-African literature. But beyond that, like sometimes, one is not satisfied with what happens at the level of the state, where approval of, materials that students use for learning is strictly based on who do you know, right? You pay a certain amount of money is reviewed, and then at the end of the day, you can use your connection to get it across the school. I mean, when it comes to education, the same priority, the same level of care that is, it's come to play and is expected when it has to do with health is also reasonably expected when it comes to education, because it's all about posterity. It's all about the quality of, human capacity of capital we are building, for the future nation tomorrow.
Thank you so much for your time. We'll see how this policy will be implemented and how the impact it will have, especially at the grassroots. Always a pleasure to have you on. As CEO, Little Network, Chukwuma Kenwa.
Thank you.